So by now y'all know everything about this Nolan Wells case, and they just updated the evidence, and the evidence is matching what I predict happened. And I'm gonna just break down the story. This is just a prediction, an assumption. I don't know what's going on, but this is my prediction of how it all happened and what happened. So we're gonna start from so Nolan gets to the island, right? And he there with a girl, and he with a bunch of virgins. Your whole crew is probably, they never probably had sex before. So even no matter their race, you always jealous of the dude that's gonna score. You understand what I'm saying? So what they did to separate him from the girl was they said, yeah, we leaving early. They leaving early because he was obviously spending his time with the girl Katie. So they said they leaving. So then when they left and they got back on the boat, all of them, everybody that was there, the jealousy took place. So this is what happened. So now they was jealous, or whoever, it could have been one or two of them, and a conflict started and a fight happened. And he was either hit in the back of the head or choked from behind and thrown off the boat. So I don't believe that he went back and then they brought the body back. No, he was dead there the whole time. So you see the point where they make the call and said that something's wrong with the boat is sinking. That was them in a first attempt to cover up the evidence. Because what they was gonna initially do is act like, he drowned and the boat was sinking, and they was gonna probably sink the boat. So to cover the body, and then some kind of weird thing like that, but then they figured out that wasn't gonna work. So when the tow came, they called off the tow because they either still had the body or they was gonna not be in the area that they said that they was gonna be sinking at. So they called off the tow. They went back to land, and when they got back to land, they realized that his phone was on the boat after the altercation. So other than that, they would have just threw the phone in the water with him. And then at the same time, even if they found it when he was dead, they had to see what was on the phone, because he probably was recording or jogging down things that was going on, or he might have left a clue. So they took the phone back and erased everything. So now the thing is, it could have been two culprits, and then you got everybody covering up what happened. Oh, this is how I picture it. Nolan had his phone in his hand, and somebody attacked him from the back, and they had to put him in the yoke. That's why the autopsy dude got a call from the judge to tell him to hide the dope. You understand what I mean? But he didn't take the back of the neck. So that's how come the other autopsy found that. So after he choked him, he must have threw him, or he must have dropped him off the boat, and he fell in the water and he drowned. And when his phone fell on the floor on the boat. So around then, when they realized he drowned, they made the phone call. So when they made the phone call for help, Nolan died probably about 10 to 12 minutes right before that. And then they called the help, and then somebody said, well, we could just say we left him with the girl, and they said that'll be a better plan. So they said, call off the tow. You understand what I mean? And they called off the tow. After they heard how the operator was speaking to them, they knew it was gonna be hard to cover the evidence. So they said, we just gonna stick with, we left him with Katie. And they went back to land, and they proceeded to cover up the crime. And you can look at the suspicious activity the boat took after that. You understand what I mean? They possibly was cleaning up blood because they didn't want dogs to search the boat, and the boat moved around a little oddly. and went straight to the property. Usually after events, people leave their boats docked for a day or two. They're not gonna just take it straight home. But the reason they took it home was because they had to make sure they get the whatever evidence out there, because they didn't know which way they was gonna point this thing. But then the judge had time to sit with the suspects and coach them on how to act and how to be. And then at the same time, she made lots of phone calls. And even her first statement that she made is kind of contradicting to everything that's going on. And you already see that they drawing sides, like, you know what I mean? It's turning into white versus black. And I think that's nasty work, because it's nasty and it's stupid, because everybody that's lies is gonna get eventually busted, and everybody that cover up for the sake of race is gonna get busted. Like, you're gonna get exposed. So more evidence is gonna come out, and I think it's gonna support that Nolan was choked on a boat and he was knocked off board. And when he got knocked off board, the boat was actually moving and he drowned. And when the person knocked him off the boat, they didn't knock him off the boat to try to kill him, to humiliate him, or prove they want to fight, and they think he was gonna drown. The intentions was not to murder him. It was a flagrant situation between a group of guys, and it just so happened that the guy that was bagging the girls was black, and the only racial thing that could have been involved was jealousy because a black guy had a white girl. Because sometimes people be like that, even though they be I had a Spanish friend that was like that. Like, he was my best friend, but when I get Spanish girls, I have Spanish girls, I noticed that he was kind of like bothered by it. You understand what I mean? So I know how people are. And I had another friend that was kind of like that too. You know, I don't know. That's kind of like weird. I see people with other girls, I'd be like, oh, look, you know, I don't. So that's what I think basically triggered this. So you know the friends is covering up, because if they was his friends, they would have been right under his mother. They would have been at the funeral. Now, about this being racial, I think the racial part came in when it came down to the girl. So that's what made them get racist, because he had a white girl. But other than that, I don't think this was a racial situation based off they didn't like black people and they was out to kill the black man. Nah, I don't think it went like that, because they wouldn't have been with him in the first place. You understand what I mean? Unless they was planning on setting him up. But what happened was somebody didn't like the scenario. We ride him on a boat to an island. He out here about to get laid. So let's get out of here. I've been with dudes and they do that. They could be any race. That's what they do. They get mad when they see you about to hit it off, or you making communications and they not. Especially if you got a bunch of virgin ass dudes. So this is why I think really happened. So now they start covering up. So